He's their guy.
He's their guy,
He's
Charlie.
their DH.
He's their DH.
Listen, great game, fun game. Did kind of feel like a little bit of a playoff game. I like the low-scoring games here and there. Well played, well managed, well pitched, strategy, big plays. It was a fun game to watch. And maybe I am too negative because we should focus after all these losses on the wins. But I don't think I was the only one that afterwards when I'm on Twitter and I saw all of the Cardinals accounts, they're all celebrating Willson Contreras. And I was kind of like, well, now you're celebrating him after you threw him under the bus for the last 3 days.
Yeah, you did.
But I do love Willie. I love his fire. I love his passion. I think he's got that. Yachty had that. He has it. Going back to Chicago and kind of shoving it in their face a little bit. I liked it.
Well, he's been embarrassed.
He has. I think that's fair to say. I think that's very fair to say that he has been embarrassed.
I mean, this whole situation's goofy, though, Charlie. I mean, it still is.
Well,
I know
yeah.
they won 2 games, but the whole situation's goofy. Now everybody's calling Jack Flaherty a snitch on Twitter. I'm like, what the hell does that mean?
Here's why.
So go ahead. Yeah, what's that all about?
Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. So this is reported by John Denton. He said that Willson Contreras said that Adam Wainwright and Jack Flaherty were both a part of the recent discussions regarding his position shift. He didn't elaborate about what was said during that summit with the front office coaches, pitchers, and himself, but those two were involved. And so people are thinking, well, Waino just got here. Flaherty's been crap. Why are those two, why are those two in the meetings deciding where Willson Contreras is going to play? What have they done this season to earn the right to say, he's not the guy? So that's why some people are going at him a little bit. And Willson Contreras said on the matter, I haven't heard one person telling me I won't be back behind the plate or we don't want you to catch anymore. I don't think that's the case. We will keep communicating. They signed a catcher and they have a catcher and they have him for 5 years. So speaking about himself in the third person a little bit, but I'll give him a pass.
I wish they would have said that on Saturday.
Yeah.
They didn't really say that on Saturday.
I know.
Now, maybe it's a messaging problem, but I think they should have explained themselves. In my opinion, when you do something like this that is so big, you got to roll out the big dogs to explain this.
Yeah.
You got to roll out a Mozeliak and really, really explain this.
I agree with that. I do. God, I just feel like for Willie, though, man, they signed you to this big deal, pumping you up. And, you're in the locker room, and, guys are going and having a secret meeting about you and your play and how bad it is and how they don't want you playing. I can only imagine, playing in Paul Correa and Big Walt and, Jax and Brew, they all go into the coach, we don't want Cam in the lineup. We don't want, he can't get pucks out of the zone. We like him in practice.
We like him as a person.
We like him. He's a good guy.
After the games, we go to the bars. He's great.
He's great.
He's a great.
He knows people in the town.
He's a great wingman.
He's a great wingman.
He pays for things. He picks up tabs.
He can chug a beer in 3 seconds.
He'll party till the sun comes up. But we just don't want him in the lineup. Man, I'd be effed up, dude. I'd be screw you. No wonder he was crazy last night. Flexing for everybody. I didn't mind. I'd be pissed. I'd be Waino, what? Did you just get here? Did he catch for Waino? Wasn't that Kiz the other day?
Kiz has been catching all day long, baby.
So it's
he's catching day games after night games.
He's doing
gonna be
everything.
tired now.
I know. Hopefully he answers the phone today.
And then Waino was in the World Baseball Classic, too.
I know.
So it's those two have barely interacted with one another whatsoever.
They all barely interacted with him before. They're all the Baseball Classic.
You guys keep me locked in.
And he's sitting there by himself okay. And now they have secret Oh, Charles.
You know what, though? So they all did, though. So how many games did Willson catch? I believe it was about 23. So they've all had 4 or 5 tries in the big leagues with Willson Contreras. And I think you can probably, if you want, you can single out a couple guys. I was talking to some people with knowledge of the situation, and this gentleman.
We got a report. Go ahead, Charlie.
Tells me that
there he is. The
you basically you don't have this happen unless essentially everybody goes to someone and says, we really don't like catching this guy.
Oh, it sucks, dude.
But that's not even to say that's a secret meeting. I think it's also that something needs to change. And I'm not putting this all on Willson Contreras. By the way, the pitching staff had been terrible as well. God. It's hard for Willson to catch the ball if it never hits his glove.
Man,
and it's always, I know some of it's soft contact. But my point is, I think probably everybody kind of said, look, man, we have to change this up. I know Yachty's gone, But this isn't working right now with how we do business.
You're a baseball guy, Charlie.
I try to be.
You played high school baseball.
And basketball.
And one season of JUCO.
When you watch Willie in the past month or two, did you notice that? Did you notice that he couldn't, whatever it is, catching a ball, keeping it in the strike zone, doing the framing pitches? Like, did you notice that?
A little bit of pitch framing, a little bit here and there. I didn't think it was anything egregious. I do think the 2-strike stuff became a big issue in the last couple weeks. That it seemed like with 2 strikes, the Cardinals were not putting guys away whatsoever.
So it's Willie's fault.
No, I think it's the coaching staff, the pitcher, and the catcher getting on the same page in terms of calling pitches.
You don't think the pitching rotation's like trying to put the blame on him because they suck?
Well, yeah, he's being scapegoated. By the way, I would blame the pitching staff more than Willson Contreras.
Yeah, right. 100%.
I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah.
Both those things can be true.
Talk about, like, dividing a locker room up.
But is it actually uniting the pitching staff? I mean,
I don't know.
Again, I have some buddies in both organizations.
He does.
And all I'm saying is this doesn't happen unless essentially, if one person had a problem, let's say, and said, man, I really don't like throwing to Willie. Well, guess what happens? Exactly what Matt Holliday said yesterday. You can figure out an off-day schedule where that guy always throws to the backup, especially if he's an ace. The ace guy, do the Cardinals have one? But the ace guy can usually pick his catcher. Over the years, Greg Maddux always had a personal catcher.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to compare any of the Cardinals' current rotation to Greg Maddux, by the way. But if only one guy said, man, I really like throwing to Kiz, they could perfectly work out the off-day scheduling to make that happen. Mm-hmm. This move doesn't happen on Saturday unless essentially everybody goes and says, we need to change this.
Well, Jack Flaherty could be the ace, but Willie Contreras isn't good behind the plate, so therefore that he let up 15 runs the other day.
And Jack Flaherty also has been in the big leagues for 6 years. Shake him.
Shake him.
Maybe Wilson is not
Take control
perfect at framing pitches. He's not Yachty. Everybody knew he wasn't going to be Yachty. Miles Michaelis.
Looked like Yachty last night.
Okay.
Kind of.
Well, a better hitter than Yachty.
Yeah. Yachty in his prime hitting.
As a DH?
As a DH. Yeah, that didn't make sense.
But these guys are all veterans.
Yeah.
Michaelis, veteran.
It's goofy.
Montgomery, veteran. Steven Matz, veteran. Okay, Jake Woodford started the year. He's a young guy. These are all dudes who've been in the big leagues 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You can shake off Willson Contreras.
Shake him.
Or call your own game like Shohei Ohtani does.
There you go.
Just be like Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, they got.
That's easy.
That the biggest question is Jack
Jimmy.
Flaherty.
Hey, Jimmy was right about Kiz, though.
They got Willson Contreras sitting next to Marmol, the pitching coach, Jesse Blake. They got him sitting right there next to him during the game, so they're
like a
coaching
child.
him. I know, dude. Look
like
at
a
this.
child.
Listen to this quote. This is from Adam Wainwright. He spoke on meeting with Contreras. He said, "What we did was we sat him down yesterday and just poured into him. We love this guy. We're glad he's here, and we want him to be our guy. I think he took it well. Honestly, I don't know if anyone's ever told him that. But he's appreciated. We love him, and we're glad he's here. We're glad he's part of our team, and I think he's going to be a huge force for us going forward."
He's treated like Daddy Padre.
These guys are patronizing.
I know.
Now go get us
This
water.
guy's 31 years old. He signed for $87 million. You're treating him like a child.
He has a ring.
Yeah.
He's a ring.
This is 8 years in. This is why it's so funny.
So weird, dude.
It's so weird, and that's why, look, we should still be talking about this. I get it, 100%. And they won the game. Good for the Cardinals.
Cool.
I also feel like the St. Louis Cardinals now, we're celebrating them winning back-to-back games against the Tigers and the Cubs. As a franchise, they're beneath that. What I'm saying is, right now, they're above that.
Yeah.
I said that wrong.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
We shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
The Cardinals win World Series championships. We should not be celebrating, oh my God, you finally beat the Tigers in a game that was like 12-6, and then you beat the Cubs. It's great. We all want the Cardinals to win. It's all good. But I couldn't help after the game when I went on Twitter, and the entire St. Louis Cardinals official social media was just celebrating the man that they had essentially buried and blamed everything on for the last 3 days.
I know. What do you think they said to
We
him?
love him. We love him.
When he came in the locker room afterward, they're like, "Hi, Willie, come here and sit by me. You did good today, little boy.
Yep.
You did good." Patted him on the head like he's a child. Willie's like, "Get away from me."
Dude, I'd be pissed.
I know.
Like, I would be embarrassed. Like,
Yeah.
I would understand because, look, a lot of the guys who are sucking right now, like Flaherty and Matz and Michaelis, their stats but when they're pitching to Kisner are way better than when they're pitching to Contreras. So I understand that they have a gripe. But all of this patronizing and they're just being so overly nice to him and like, hey, we love him. It's embarrassing.
I know.
If I were Willson Contreras, I'd rather just say, like, all right, I'm going to, for a week or two, whatever, I'm going to sit here and whatever you want to teach me, you can teach me. But don't baby me like this in front of everybody.
They're like, we love him. We love him as a teammate.
Yes.
We love him as a guy.
Yes.
We love him as a DH.
What about catching?
Now, we love him as a guy.
Yeah. This is
Great guy.
This is like in Friends when Ross said, I love you, and the girl goes, I love spending time with you, too. Like,
Or like on Wayne's World, like, I love you. He's like, thanks.
I love our friendship.
I love our friendship.
I care about you, too.
We got Randy. Randy, how you doing, buddy? How's the family?
Hey, I'm doing okay. He's going to be released this Thursday for home therapy, so
Good, man.
that's pretty good sign.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to hear, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Hey, let me ask you a question there. This, come on. This Cardinal team was not meant to. I don't know who puts the team together in the offseason, but Contreras, they knew that whoever made the decision to sign Contreras was looking at some, I don't know what they're looking at. His statistics don't prove that he's a good catcher. First of all, and second of all, offensively, he's on the decline. He's not going to be putting numbers like he did 5 years ago with Chicago. Plus, he was hitting Chicago. But the thing is, Charlie, I don't understand the Cardinals. It seems like there's two opposing philosophies on that team. Like one side wants to do this, the other side wants to do that. Who is the arbitrator between these two philosophies? I don't know. What are they trying to prove? Do they want to win games, or are they just trying to show that they're out smarter than everybody else? Okay, and Charlie, by the way, if you were a JV, what squad did you play on at junior college? Were you a
freshman team? Freshman team?
Yeah, no. What position did you play? Were you center, guard? What did you play?
In basketball?
Yeah,
I thought you meant football.
I was left bench.
What position did you play, though? For real?
In high school?
Yeah.
In baseball.
Left out.
I guess I was a forward. I didn't hit puberty till I was a junior. That kind of
really?
hurts. Your first couple years when you're still in your boy's body.
Oh, no.
It doesn't really help you being a post player.
What about baseball, were you?
I was a catcher in high school.
Oh.
So was I.
So was I.
6'4".
Hey, but Charlie Marlowe, when did you realize that you were going to be a TV reporter versus playing, say, some lengthy pro career? Thanks.
See, homie.
Very early on. It was very
When he looked at himself in the mirror and said, you know what?
It was very
handsome.
evident.
I'm just going to be on TV now.
I got good hair. I got to be on TV.
I think when you get cut from a Bradley team that finishes, 17-37, and you can't make that team, it starts to hit you that you should
What were
probably
you not
focus.
good at? What was the thing you should have worked on more? I know, don't say everything, but like one.
Well, it has nothing to do with work. You always do this. Some people aren't talented. Cam honestly thinks that anybody could be a professional athlete if they work harder. Yeah. I could name you 1,000 people I know that were the hardest working people, and they couldn't even make a high school team.
Cam thinks you and I should be the defenseman for the Blues right now.
6'4".
Your kid's not that good.
Ooh, Connor Bedard want to go down on you too? I don't think so. He's going to dump the puck in and get a change.
Every parent thinks their kid is great at everything. They're not.
Yes.
Most of them are terrible.
See, at least I look at it with a clear mind and a clear head.
They are, though. You're right. All right, get him in, 855-282-8255. Actually, we do got kids coming up at 9 o'clock, man. He's been playing pretty damn good. It's nice seeing him out there consistently. Hit a nice play at the plate. You got that clip there, Donovan throw?
Yeah.
Pretty badass.
There we go.
He's 1 for 2. Fly ball center field. That's curling out toward left. Donovan with the grab. Runner tags. Here comes the throw. At the plate. And he is going to be tagged out. What a double play.
Damn right, kids.
Brendan Donovan throws a strike. Madrigal thrown out. And the Cardinals and Cubs are tied at 1 after 5 great innings at Wrigley Field.
Freezing cold there, dude.
Got to tell you.
That was the turning point of the game.
And I say this to somebody who's new-ish to St. Louis. Chip Carey, I'm a big fan of his. In fact, I prefer him.
over Danny Mac.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I understand why others may disagree, especially those who have been in St. Louis the past 20 years and have a lot of core memories attached to his calls. But I think Chip Caray is awesome. I think Danny Mac's pretty good. Really good. But Chip Caray, man.
That's a hot take.
I know.
I like it. No, I want that from you. Hell yeah.
I think Chip
Say
Caray.
you think.
All right. I think Chip Caray's better than Danny Mac.
Boom, baby.
You're allowed to have your opinion.
Clip that off.
I actually, Cole, he gets way too much heat. A lot of people, I feel like they critique the hell out of him because they love Danny Mac.
Let me say it again uninterrupted so we can make a drop out of it. I think Chip Caray's better than Danny Mac.
Woo!
There you go. F8. I'll F8 myself. There you go.
Do that.
Hot damn.
Because I want you to play that all the time, especially when Jimmy comes on.
Okay.
By the way, if you like things like win probability, which I think is fun, you can check it at all different sites, but MLB.com. After that double play, the Chicago Cubs win probability dropped from 68.9% to 50%. So at that point, when you had runners second and third, tie ball game with 1 out, Cubs 69% chance to win. That was the turning point of the ball game. Genesis Cabrera comes in, walks a guy.
Yeah.
But then, hey, you get that nice little kind of soft little pop out, fly out, nice throw.
Yep.
Now, that is a relatively easy play for an outfielder. They should make that play, but you still got to make it. You still got to make the play.
And he's still got to make the catch.
100%.
It was like a mile. He had a lot of time.
Short throw, but hey, you got to make the plays.
Yeah. Right down the pipe, baby.
That was a fun game. That was a very fun game because the Cardinals recently, and even the Sunday game that they won, it was kind of one of these ugly slugfests. Oh, grand slam, Cardinals come back.
I know.
It was sloppy.
Yep.
It looked like two bad teams, whereas last night actually looked like two good teams.
Yeah, you're right on that. Charlie's right.
Hey, if Donovan's consistently hitting and O'Neal's struggling, I mean, are you willing to, especially since he just got an assist yesterday? I mean, is there a way he's gonna sneak his way in there and get a little more PT, and O'Neal have to maybe ride the pine?
Well, O'Neal right now is on the injured list.
Well, when he comes back,
chilling.
I meant.
Yeah, I mean, O'Neal, to be honest with you, man, look, he's also got a million opportunities. At some point, you have to produce.
You're right.
Let me tell you something, man. I know it's been a rocky road the last 3-4 days for Willson Contreras, but boy, do these boys love him now. Woo! We love you, Willie.
Yeah.
We love you, Willie. You are our guy, homecoming hero. It's all good, baby.
Well, first of all, they won a series opening game, and now they have an extended winning streak of 2 games.
Yep.
So all's good. I will say, and Charlie, I saw some of the stuff you wrote on Twitter, and I will say the whole Willson Contreras thing is bizarre to me. And I've said all along when people are like, how the heck do you start Kisner? He can't hit and everything. I'm saying, listen, the pitchers love throwing to him. Like he does his work. They love that. But I never thought anything was coming like, yeah, Willson Contreras is going to be in the outfield or DH. So I knew he wasn't going to play outfield. The way it came out at first was almost like, yeah, when we go to Wrigley, the guy that's making his return to a stadium that has those swirling winds is going to be in the outfield where basically he's played a handful of games there. I didn't believe that was going to happen. I thought the messaging was awful. Like, you put so much pressure on Willson Contreras, you just invested millions of dollars in, who's a good guy, whose teammates like him, who was obviously having some issues getting used to being a catcher. To me, it was not about he's not Yachty. It's about he wasn't quite ready. I don't know why or how.
He's not Kisner.
Some of the things they were trying to do and they need from their catcher. That's an easy fix. But for them to put it out there, first of all, in the game before they left, I think it was the game before, he had a rough landing when he was on the base paths, and he had a sore ankle, which has been problematic for him anyway. If I were the Cardinals and I didn't want to start him at catcher just for the short term, I would never announce that. But if people were saying, how come he's not catching, I would have said, listen, he's got a sore ankle. We're going to be really careful with it. I just thought the optics and the messaging was really bad. And then you had Ollie saying one thing. You had Contreras saying he was told something else. And you had Mo saying something. They got to get on the same page. I think they are now. Willson said in his scrum yesterday, which was like, there was like 60 people packed in this tiny dugout. I'm at the front, Charlie, because I'm a grinder.
There you go.
Sure. I saw you in that picture, baby.
Yeah.
Sitting right to his right.
I was like, this is where he sits, people. And I saw, just based on what he said, he had a discussion with Ali and Wayno and Flaherty, and those guys said everything's good. They're on the same page. I just thought what he did last night was so much fun. For him, he knew it might be a mixed reaction, and I think on the broadcast they were saying mixed. The boos were pretty prevalent along with some of the cheers. And you know what he did? He fed off that. And he made it fun, and he made it a great thing. I thought that was a great night. I thought that was a big moment for him.
But you got follow up on that?
Oh no, I think it was the most fun game of the year. It felt like a real good baseball game between two good teams. Where to me Sunday kind of felt like a sloppy game between a couple teams, 12-6, whatever it is. Last night was a fun game to watch. Now,
you know why? Because when it's Cards and Cubs, you know this, Charlie. You throw the records out the window.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
100%. No, I would never advocate for someone to not tell the truth. But I feel like if the Cardinals were going to do this with Willson Contreras, they could have used the injury as a smokescreen, as a way to say, hey, we're not going to catch him for a couple weeks. Then they could have cleaned up the catching behind the scenes, right? I mean, they could have done that. They could have done that.
That's what I said. That's what I said. He had the ankle. That's what I said. The optics were bad. He had the ankle. You could have just said, we're going to be extra careful with it. No one would have questioned it. And even if that was like the goal was to, make him work behind the scenes for a couple of weeks, you just didn't want to make that the storyline heading to Wrigley. Because I got to tell you, hey, what's it like to be back? That's the first question, and follow up on that. Then how come you're not catching? That was the main theme of his media scrum. You didn't have to do that to him, but I honestly think it says a lot about Contreras that, first of all, there's a lot of pressure on him anyway, because let's be honest, he said, I love the fans. They know I love them. They're Cubs fans. They hate the Cardinals, and you walked out of Chicago and cashed a check in St. Louis. So there's going to be a lot of those fans that don't like you. So there's pressure on them. And then you throw in, hey, big shot, you're not even catching. And then you got a million questions about it. And you know what he did? He went out and had a good game, had fun with it, turned the negative into a positive by, asking for the jeers. I thought it was a fun night, and I thought he handled it well. And I think it says a lot about him as a person.
So, the reason why he's in this situation is because the pitchers all came together, and they're like, we don't like pitching to him. Like, how does he feel in the locker room right now? I mean, right?
I think everything's good because I'll be honest, I watched him the last couple of days, and you could see he's had a lot of private powwows with pitchers, and I saw a lot of good interaction that I never noticed before. So I do think that they've mended fences. But even the other day, when Jack Flaherty, after his bad start, he said, I was terrible, I suck and everything. But he did say, the pitch calls made no sense. Well, that's your catcher. I think there was a little of that where, what are you laughing at?
No, that's just, it's just such a goofy, here's my take on it. This guy is 8 years in the big leagues, and he's caught over 700 games, and it's like you don't even let him catch now a day game after a night game. I get it if you want to catch Kisner for 2/3 of the games for a while and kind of figure things out. Here's a guy that's won a World Series. He's caught 700 games. By the way, he played against you 95 games. Yeah. We looked this up. You saw him up close and personal 95 times, and now he can't even catch it all? It's just so odd.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then you talk about vetting the thing you're going to invest a lot of money in. That's going into a car dealer and buying a car without ever taking it for a test ride. You saw this guy. You know what he is. And my guess is I think there was probably some initial communication with the new pitching staff, and maybe there were some questions about what he was doing. But that seems to be an easy fix. Look, there's metrics on his catching. There's metrics on Kisner's catching. There's metrics on Tres Barrera's catching. They know what they are in terms of pitch framing, and there's plenty of tape, and you see it firsthand how they call a game. Secondly, if you're a pitcher, if you're Jack Flaherty, you call the game, right? Wayno said that all the time. There were times he shook off, yada. I don't get any of the shade that was thrown Wilson's way. I don't get any of it. But I think the good news is last night, I think, is a big step toward cleaning a lot of that up. And it's funny hearing Contreras talk. He was like, people think I'm not the catcher anymore. They're wrong. He basically said, I've already talked to him. I know what I have to do. I'm working on it. And I'm going to be catching. And he said, soon. I think the word he used was soon. And I think he's probably right.
Well, I mean, Kiz is playing pretty well back there, you know.
See, that's the other. I mean, they like Kiz, you know.
You're
I'm
right
telling you that. I've said this for a long time. Like the pitching staff likes Kiz back there. They like going to Kiz for information, be it on how to attack hitters, even when he's not starting. He's just that guy that they go to. So there's a comfort level with Kiz, and it's been that way. But they go out and they sign a catcher that they think is going to improve their lineup and can give them, you know, decent work behind the plate. I think they'll get back to it. Kiz will still get his starts, but I think at some point, I don't know when that is, you're going to see Contreras work back into the rotation, catching games, because he's going to be here for a long time now with that contract, and they got to get more out of him than just a DH.
I mean, does Flaherty look bad calling him out like that? I mean, doesn't he? Does that happen a lot? I think Jack. Yeah, I think it's a bad look. But Jack was calling himself out too. You know, like he didn't blame him. He just was kind of listing everything that was terrible. And first of all, like he had that finger issue, and someone mentioned it, and he said, "Look," he said, "that was not an issue at all. I just sucked." He said that, so he put blame on himself too. But he did throw some shade at Contreras. Which to me is a bad look. But Jack gets emotional like that. That's kind of who he is. But I'm telling you, Wilson and Jack, I watch them interact. I think they're going to be fine moving forward from this.
How about Miles Michaelis? I know he didn't go as deep as he would have liked, but 7 strikeouts gave you a chance to win. And overall, he's trending much better than early on. Yeah,
so his slider has been his best pitch this year, and his fastball and his sinker have been getting crushed. And last night he got better results with those 2 pitches. To me, that's the key, because if you have one pitch they're going to sit on, they're going to knock you all over the place. I think with the fastball, opponents were hitting like 400 off it. But last night he got a lot of swing and misses. That's one of the things that I think that he's missed, is that swing and miss. He hadn't been getting a ton of strikeouts. So I do think, though, they fouled off a lot of pitches, so the pitch count was monstrous in the early going. I do think last night was a big step forward. And I'll also say, too, the funny thing about Goldschmidt, you know, sometimes it's cliche, but it's kind of true. Like he's always said, you know, when it's warm and when it starts heating up, that's when I start really hitting. And he had that 3 home run game, 4 hits on a very hot day in St. Louis. And last night was freezing, and he didn't do as much.
Any update on Arenado?
Yeah, so I'll be honest with him. I saw him during the game in the batting cage taking swings. So he had a stiff neck. It was a last-minute thing, so they scratched him as a precaution. I saw him taking swings in the batting cage. He looked fine. He had like a wrap around his neck after the game. I don't know. The cold weather doesn't help, something like that. But I think he'll be fine. But that's just my guess. But it wasn't like you didn't see him doing anything, and he was just sitting there. He was taking swings, so that's obviously a good sign.
Is this team about ready to go on a run? Is this team going to be the St. Louis Cardinals, the boys of summer that we're used to? Can we forget about
what's that song they played? The heat is on.
The heat is on. And let me ask you this: is this whole turnaround, this 2-game turnaround, which right now is seismic, is this all because of this elbow thing? We're tapping the elbows now. We're dropping elbows like Hulk Hogan, or no, The Rock?
Yeah, people's elbow.
I haven't asked about that. You know why? Because as a rights holder, I like to consider a 2-game winning streak the same thing as a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Look. A 2-game winning streak, if you just added 8 games, that's like a 10-game winning streak.
It is.
So it's a 10-game. But they've been so bad, I didn't even want to ask them about the elbow thing yet. Let them win a few games in a row before that happens. But I will say this. The Central's not good. The Pirates I know they won last night. They had lost like 7 in a row. Yeah. The Cubs are not good. The Central is going to shake up a little bit. So, 9 games is a huge hole. And yes, the Cardinals have only won 2 games. What is it, the third time this season? First time they've won a series opening game all season. They've had, third 2-game winning streak. So things are not great. But if you're in the Central and you can put an 8-9 game winning streak together, you're probably going to get a lot closer than you were, and it's going to look a whole lot different. So who knows? But, it is just 2 games.
2 damn good games, Jimmy. And I don't know if you saw last night, though, that boy band, Connor Bedard. He went to Chicago. Yeah, I know. We were talking about that. People say it's fixed and rigged and stuff like that, but whatever.
It is.
Oh, Cole's pissed because of, obviously, the Blue Jackets missing out.
Yeah, another weird team that he likes. I just like Bedard. So what I was trying to do, I was using social media to spread disinformation.
Yeah.
That there were some health concerns about Bedard, hoping that he would drop all the way down to the Blues, but it didn't happen. No one paid any attention to my tweets, which were lies. They were lies.
Kat, do you think it's better for the Blues and the Blackhawks rivalry if the Blackhawks are better? Do you think Blues fans should want the Blackhawks to be a good team again?
No, they shouldn't.
Thank you. Thank you.
They shouldn't at all. And what they should do is learn a little decorum. So when they come into our wonderful facility, they act like civilized human beings instead of rogue peasants.
There it is. Or if you're going to lose, lose more games, and get that, have a better shot. But they kind of squeaked and they won some. They should have just crapped the bed the whole season.
Yes.
We're calling for that.
Oh, hey, we got the 10th pick. Oh, great.
Cool.
We'll get this guy from Finland.
Yeah.
He's
not playing for 5 years.
And I've done a lot of research on him, and I'm not just talking about the 3 clips that I saw on SportsCenter, right?
Yeah.
But he's playing in the minors. He's a man among boys, and he's a guy you have to account for.
Yes.
Right? He's a guy that with the puck, he's hard to knock off that puck, and his awareness on the ice is remarkable. That's why he's a first-round pick. And that's your scouting report from a guy who has seen 3 clips.
Seth is taking notes right now on how to BS through a hockey segment.
There it is.
So, Kat, was there a moment last night at Wrigley where they announced that the Hawks got the first pick, and did Wrigley go crazy?
If they did, I didn't hear it. Or it's possible that Charlie, I hate to say this, especially on the radio, but when it gets really cold, like between innings, I run to the bathroom a few times, so I could have missed it.
Freezing.
Does that happen to you guys when it's really cold? Sometimes you got to skedaddle a little more than you normally would.
Right.
It's cold. What?
Damn right.
I have a catheter, so.
Oh, isn't that nice to have? Isn't that nice to have?
Especially if it's below 45 degrees, I go catheter.
Put that catheter in, baby.
I just want to restate, though, for you guys, especially Charlie, that the guy next to me in the camera well was taken to the hospital for getting beamed with a foul ball that had a velo of probably 97 miles an hour. I put my life on the line as I'm grinding, Charlie.
Wait, did you actually jump in front of him, though, and wear it? You could have shielded him.
I'm trying to tell you that I'm in a position, as a veteran, where I'm not in the line of fire. So I saw it coming, and I saw it ricochet. I didn't see it hit him. So immediately I tried to grab the ball and virtue signal and give it to a young fan. I didn't even see it hit him.
Can I say something real quick?
There's blood on the ball?
Absolutely.
I know the guy got pelted, Jimmy. I know he got pelted. But for him, even though he did take one, to keep the ball, it's kind of goofy to me. Because he's a grown man. I would say still give the ball after it beamed you to a kid. That's all. No big deal.
I do think it's odd that I didn't want to say it because he had this giant knot. It was like, honestly, it was like the size of, let me think, bigger than a golf ball, in between a small-sized orange on his head. So I felt bad.
Like the ones I bring in.
When he did say, I want the ball, it hit me. I thought to myself, okay, but that's weird. But then I immediately felt bad that this guy had this knot on his head. But yeah, that is odd.
It is.
What does that have to do with me giving the ball to a kid?
Give it to a damn kid.
He wants a souvenir.
No.
For his wound.
Hey,
Hey,
you got 50 of them.
hey, Kat. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat.
So, you know that we're really good interviewers on this show.
Yeah.
And you are an award-winning journalist.
Yes.
We have Cardinals starting catcher Andrew Kisner on the show in approximately 37 minutes. We were discussing earlier the best way to ask the questions of what the hell is going on with Willson Contreras in the nicest, most professional way, because clearly Kiz doesn't want to throw anybody under the bus, but we really want to get inside this clubhouse and this catching room. So you, as a longtime rights holder, award-winning journalist, how do we best ask Kiz to get the most juicy answers out of this topic?
So I would say, hey, Kez, a lot has been made of the fact that Contreras is not behind the plate. But we also know that he's talked with the starting rotation and with Ollie, and they're all on the same page now. What things did they have to work through?
That's good.
All right.
That's good.
That's going. That's good.
You know? And then I would say, hey, Kez, Contreras is, behind the plate, for the most of his major league career. But you're a lot better than Trace Barrera, aren't you? That's good, too.
Yeah. I get that. Hey, somebody...
Isn't that weird, though? How weird was that? Like,
God.
Kids is starting day game after night game again, and they bring up a third catcher. The whole thing was weird. And you think, did it have to be handled that way?
No,
dude. No.
I don't think so.
Their Saturday messaging was terrible. Let's be real about it. It was.
Brutal. I mean, I'm not one that's like, well, the optics of that. But in this case, the optics of that were terrible. Terrible.
Jimmy, they were, man. They were. Hey, somebody chimed in real quick. Andy Felterbush. Cam, tell Cad he did a damn good job and spoke a little louder last night. I guess we're all feeling a little bit better now after 2 wins. That is true. You did come in there and you put your foot down and you spoke up. Everybody else is, no, you went in there like, no. I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna ask them loud so everybody can hear. We appreciate that, Kat. It's little things. Little things, Kat.
Thank you.
I'm here for the text line. If I'm anything, I'm a guy that will work hard to please the text line. On my tombstone, I wanted to say he worked hard for the text line, and that's all. That's all I want.
That's all that matters, man. All right, Jimmy. Hey, stay warm. By the way, buddy, I know I was watching people in the stands. Like, they were literally bundled up with scarves and stuff. So I know you're grinding. Charlie doesn't think so.
I'm just grinding, Cam.
I know.
I'm just grinding.
I know you are.
You know that.
I've never said he doesn't grind.
No, you kind of did. You got a little bit.
Because there are people out there that are pouring concrete.
How do you know he's not? How do you know he's not fixing things in the dugout?
Serving our country in hostile areas. And you're giving all the props to Jim Hayes.
He almost got hit by a baseball.
Going to the bathroom.
He almost got hit by a baseball.
Going to the bathroom every half inning.
Hey, if there's a light drizzle out there, Jim Hayes is going to help out the grounds crew. All right, he's going to get that tarp
above and beyond.
Yep.
Above and beyond. Jimmy, we love you, dude. We'll talk soon, buddy.
All right, see you. Bye.
See you, homie.
Great work, buddy. That was.
I feel like that was sarcastic.
That was not.
I feel like that was sarcasm.
Is a team player.
That was not sarcasm, and I think he gave a great answer to how we best, because we need to pull information.
Oh, we should have told him.
We need to pull. Could we actually play Jim's question?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to play his home run call, too. I'm going to pump his tires up, man. The dude comes on our show, out of his way, comes on, always cool, answers every question. We're probably annoying, and I just want to pump his tires up, dude. That's all.
I don't think we're annoying.
Yeah, I think
he has fun with it.
No, I agree with that. I'm just saying maybe sometimes he's probably like, I don't want to do this. You think? Probably.
It's 10 minutes.
I know what it is, but sometimes you're like, damn, I gotta walk away and do something. I don't know. Sometimes you probably don't want to have. Maybe he wants to sleep in a little bit more. Maybe this, maybe that. I'm just telling you, man. He's doing it because he's a cool cat. So let's pump his tires up. That's all.
Can I ask him about the pepper grinder and whether or not there were some inside jokes about, Yeah.
All
right, cool. Game on. I'm doing it.
But I like the elbow bombs, dude. Like, that
I like that way better.
Hell yeah.
That's
like
that's got a
bashing
badass.
somebody's head in, baby. Let's go. Get physical.
Let's get physical.
We should have asked Jimmy about you saying that Chip Carey's way better than Danny Mac.
Ooh, Cole.
The word way got thrown in there by a third party.
Yeah, I exaggerate things. Oh, the con dog. That's my boy right there. Can't wait to see that Netflix thing about him. Thoughts on this situation? The Wombat wants to know. The Bills released punter, Matt Araiza. Was that the... Oh, okay. What's his name?
Matt Araiza.
Matt Araiza for an allegation of sexual assault that police proved he was 100% a lie. Why shouldn't his accuser face criminal charges for lying? He lost a year of his career and a good name. She has zero consequences. Not right. Damn, that sucks, dude. That's brutal.
Was it a lie or was it there was no charges? Without
Charlie,
I don't know the whole story. I remember talking about this
Me too.
a year or so ago.
No, I mean like last night I read the story. So what happened was there was evidence found in the trial that he had left the party where this took place an hour before she even got there.
Wow. What a biatch. Whoa.
That's bad.
That sucks.
And well,
she should be in jail.
Yeah, if you flat out lie like that, you need to be held accountable.
Well, no, it wasn't just him though. She may have mistaken him for somebody else because it was a team effort.
Oh, she got. Ooh.
So I'm not saying that she lied. I'm just saying one of the people she accused was incorrect.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so it was a gang rape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a few people at a party got together with her, and
Yeah.
But
stay away from that.
he was thought to be one of them, and he was at the party previously. He had left by the time that happened.
That sucks,
And so
dude.
the Bills drafted him and then released him, and his name's been dragged through the mud for a year.
Big time.
So
I know. And it's weird because I never read anything about him coming out and saying, it's like, God, if that happened to you, man, and I know your lawyers are like, don't say anything until, or whatever they tell you, how to handle that. But if you know you're 100% right, dude, I would be screaming from the mountaintop. I would be, right? Like, I don't feel like he said anything. I'd be like, what? I'd hold press conferences every day like Dave Portnoy did. You know? Well, like, okay, where is she? Let's get her in right now. Let's do it. Like, I'd be losing my mind.
But the legal people are probably advising him not to do that because...
They did it with Portnoy, but Portnoy got ahead of it, man. You know, he was out there every day. He's like, my legal team's yelling at me right now, but I don't give a damn. I'm telling you right now, this is what happened. I feel like that's kind of the way to go. When you're just quiet and then it comes out, now no one's going to talk about it. Now he's going to have to figure things out. I would have been screaming from the mountaintops.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, again, I hate jumping in on stories like this because they're very serious and we don't know what's going on. In this Yahoo article, it also reads down, it says, any sexual contact Araiza has said was consensual.
Oh, so he had before?
Maybe there was a...
So maybe beforehand they could have been... I don't even like to
I know.
Speculate.
It's scary, though. But my point is, I don't know what happened with this situation, but if this does happen to somebody like a star athlete, you would think that you'd be so pissed and you'd want to get the truth out there so much. When you hide and not say anything, it just makes you look like you did do something. I don't know.
Lost his job.
Hell yeah. Lost everything. You know? And even if people around you, like, do they believe you? I don't know.
Okay, so it sounds like he was there earlier, but he was gone, according to this article, when the alleged sexual assault took place.
Yeah, okay. Cam, ask kids if they got a little Willie a toy to play with while he's in the dugout. Oh, I know, man. Like little Willie. Hi, little Willie. Here, play with your toys. We're going to go out and play baseball. You stay here, okay? We're going to have a meeting about you. Oh, you're not allowed to come. Just the pitchers are going to talk to you with the staff.
And by the way, the whole thing of this is that the Cardinals, from a PR standpoint, were just awful on Saturday. And then they're like, oh, now we're on the same page. Oh, 3 days later. And Sunday, remember, oh, we have a plan. Oh, we have a plan. We have a great plan. Oh,
yeah.
Our plan's so great that we signed this guy to a 5-year deal, and we essentially benched him 30 games in. Like, you can't even let this dude catch the day game after the night game.
Weird.
This dude, you're telling me, Spags, you're telling me this dude is so bad at catcher, you can't even let him catch one game, a day game, and figure it out over the next 3-4
Was
days.
he that bad? What am I missing?
Think about that.
What am I missing here?
You can't let this dude catch even once a week for the next couple weeks?
How bad is he? He must. I mean, they're treating him like he's terrible. Like he was throwing guys out. He was doing this. Like, was he that bad?
This is
what am I
nuts.
missing?
This whole situation. The reason everybody reacted the way they did on Saturday, anybody that goes, you overreacted. No, because the entire baseball world could not believe what they were seeing and hearing
all over MLB
on
Network.
Saturday.
That's all they're talking about.
And I think a lot of the messaging since then, a lot of that is also trying to play catch up and cover your bases a little bit because you realize how bad of a look it was on Saturday.
It's goofy.
And you know what? If he's not going to play outfield, then never say that. Right?
I know, man. Hey, look, I know we're piling up, but, like, you did this. Like, we ripped the Blues. But this is weird stuff. The Blues just sucked. And we're like, what the hell?
They didn't put O'Reilly on defense.
They didn't suck enough,
The Blues
Charlie.
did not suck enough.
They didn't suck
They
enough.
have the 10th pick. Oh, great. Here comes the Swedish defenseman.
They should have sucked more, and we're still bashing them all year. But the Cardinals have been goofy. They suck, and they're weird with stuff. Man, if I'm Contreras, I'm serious. Like, in that locker room, like, F all y'all. Oh, you guys having a meeting about me again? Are you? Like, I'd be pissed. Look at me like that. Jack Flaherty, what'd you say?
I'm 31 years old about.
31 years old.
I have a
87.
ring. I caught on a team that won the World Series.
Little Jackie boy with your little TikTok videos.
Jesus Christ, what are we doing?
I'd be right in his face.
And by the
Get
way,
the hell out of my face.
if you go back to that post-game presser, whatever you want to call it, scrum with Jack Flaherty, and I'm not this person that rips on Jack Flaherty all the time for other reasons.
No,
I really
you don't.
I really don't care.
Yeah, you didn't make it on his Twitter.
No. I know. They should have mentioned
I want to be in the Batman video, though.
I know.
See, now I want to be even more critical because I want to get in the next Joker video.
That's me too. It'll be Jimmy.
So, no. If you listen to that whole scrum, he absolutely does say these things about Willson Contreras, essentially, or the pitching coach or whoever, but it's all part of the equation. And then when Ben Frederickson follows up, as he should, as a good journalist, and asks about that in a very polite way, by the way, not a disrespectful way, saying, yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be a transition from Yachty for 2 decades to a new catcher, new pitching coach and all that. And Flaherty stopped and goes, I know where you're trying to go with that. Well, you just went there. You're the one that
just went there.
You're the one that just went there.
Baby. He is a baby. I'm sorry. Yeah, I said it. He's a baby. I'd be pissed. Willie Contreras, 31 years old, won a ring. And you're what? You're having meetings
I don't know how
me?
to catch anymore.
You know, you're having meetings
I got to go to catching school.
You let in like 15 runs. You're blaming me?
Yeah, they keep using the word system, too. Ollie's like, he just needs to get acclimated to our system and the way that we do things around here. It's like
embarrassing.
It's like how much
embarrassing.
How different could it possibly be from any other Major League Baseball team, where you got to have Willson Contreras sitting right next to you, watching the entire game
like a child.
Yeah.
You know what the system was?
Jesus.
The system was Yadier Molina.
There it is.
Oh boy.
By the way, Cardinals, you're great, and you've been great.
Tumbler.
Get the tumbler. I'll tell you about it in a second. Cardinals haven't won a World Series since 2011. Okay? Your system ain't that great.
It ain't that great.
It ain't that much better than all these other teams.
It ain't that great.
You used to have an advantage in terms of drafting, development, analytics. You did, 100%. You had that advantage back in whatever it was. 08, 9, 10, 11. Everybody else is caught up.
Yep. You're damn right, Charlie.
Your system shouldn't be so difficult that an 8-year veteran isn't allowed to play.
Where's Little Willie? Cam, Little Willie's in timeout for being a bad boy. He's playing with his little squeaky toy while they go play baseball. Oh, God. Look what I started.
Hey, I'm the DH. Can I?
Hi.
I have this little xylophone.
It's me, Willie.
Can I play the xylophone?
I'm 31 years old.
I want a ring, but I guess I'm not good enough.
$87 million.
I can't even back up catch.
Jesus.
God, stop making fun of the Cardinals, everyone.
Whoa, screw that. Yeah. Stop doing stupid things.
It's crazy. The Cardinals never used to do this.
I know.
They never used to put us in this spot.
I know.
To actually make fun of them.
Because they were so good.
Yes, and they also did everything the right way.
The Cardinal way.
The Cardinal way, the Yachty way. Let me tell you about this Yachty tumbler, okay?
Oh, I'm getting that.
I'm going to set this Yachty tumbler right behind home plate, and this tumbler can frame, it can pitch frame, it can steal strikes.
It can do everything.
Back by popular demand, don't miss the Yachty tumbler giveaway Friday, May 19th. when the Cards host the Dodgers. That night, 25,000 fans ages 16 and up will take home their own stainless steel tumbler featuring Yadier Molina, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Quick Trip. Visit Cardinals.com/promotions for full details.
Imagine that. The privileged rich kid throwing the poor Venezuelan under the bus. Venezuelan.
He ain't poor anymore.
Wainwright is obviously a great humanitarian, but his act has worn thin the last couple years. I completely agree with that, the all-knowing expert. It is like...
A little defensive the other day with John Denton. I get it. Wayno, he has fun with the media. I get it.
That wasn't fun, though. That was just him being like...
A little too personal.
Yeah.
Taking it a little too personal.
He wasn't being like goofy like Holiday would with Jimmy. This was more like, I got to defend myself kind of thing. And that wears on people.